ever, check this shit, if I were to ever, ever, speak of their marriage, it will be to bless them, not hurt them. So help me God. And with you. Y'all know it's each other one with the sun. Stay out of their marriage.
I saw that and I thought it was hilarious. Before I get into the comment section really quick, there's a lot of wisdom in what he said right there. It was just a quick little sentence or so, but you got a lot of marriages and a lot of relationships today that are broken up because folks just couldn't stay out of other folks' business. It's just the bottom line. Like, when you get married, especially if you are surrounded by other people who are not married or they are in single relationships or situationships or whatever, you have to have strong boundaries. Even if you are surrounded by other married couples, you still want to have strong boundaries, and especially for your family. I can remember when me and my husband were dating, some of the earliest advice we got from both of our marriage counselors was that you want to keep family out of your business. Okay, like if something happens, if you have, God forbid, you have a disagreement or something, the last thing you want to do is go call your mom or your dad or your aunt or start to spread business about your spouse. Because what happens if you make up with your spouse the next day, but you already told auntie or you already told your dad or your mom or whatever? They're going to remember. They're not going to be able to get over that argument you have with your spouse as easily as you are. So there's a lot of people who they the first thing they do is turn to their mom or the people that they love. But the thing about it is your family members, especially, it's almost impossible for them to be unbiased. So it's like you really want to be sensitive, especially when navigating those different things and navigating different challenges about who you allow into your space. Now, I'm not a person who believes that you can't have anybody talk or you can't have anybody to consult with, because I do think, especially if you're young and you're navigating marriage or you just, you didn't grow up around marriages, it's good to have wise counsel. But I think there just has to be really clear boundaries around it. Like, you and your husband decide beforehand if you have particular challenges or if you ever want to kind of talk things out with the elder or somebody. Like, you guys decide who that person or those people are that you guys can discuss your challenges with if you feel like you need an outside source. But outside of that, you don't need to be putting your business out there on social media. You don't need to be telling your aunt, your mom, your bestie, you know what I mean? Like, you just... like, there's certain things that are meant to be sacred between you, your husband, and God. And then if you do feel like help, or you do need an outside source, or you need some wisdom, just be very cautious about who you share that with. And because ultimately it's not like, and just be very cautious who you're sharing it with, because if the wrong information gets out there to the wrong people, it can just create unnecessary chaos and divide. Now, again, that is distinctive from like worst case scenarios, which is like DV or things like that. That's a whole separate conversation. Obviously, you want to get out of that. But in most cases, that's not what's happening, right? It's just folks get upset. They go talk to their auntie. They go talk to their sister. And your aunt and your sister, they do not have the ability to be unbiased when it comes to you. They're likely going to take your side over your spouse. You know what I mean? So I think what he said was really wise. But listen to these comments right here. Okay. It says, this one right here is first one. It says, no, as the people you asked to come to your wedding, we are charged during the ceremony to make sure that your marriage survives. We are charged to make sure both parties uphold their vows. This is dumb. So I agree with what she is saying in principle, but I disagree with how it's executed, because as I mentioned before, yes, you do and you should have people in your life that are there to help hold you accountable. Usually, if you're going to have that person, they're going to be in your wedding party. Like, it's not going to be just a random person you invited to your wedding this isn't like a communal wedding, right? Where everybody's at the wedding. They all now have responsibility to check your husband or check your wife. That's out of order. Usually, I think traditionally, if you had it would be like a groom or a groomsman or like a maid of honor or whatever, who would like be your trusted source. But even then, maid of honor, usually that's a single woman. It's like, you're not really going to go and consult a single woman on how to be a wife. No. And it's the same way. A groomsman isn't likely going to consult if his if the best man is a single man. Like, a married man don't need to be consulting a single man about how to be a husband. No. So it's like, that's traditionally who's supposed to do it, at least from the American Western standpoint. But I think in general, like, reality is, I think you should consult with elders that have been who like, they've been through some seasons. Not elders like, oh, you've been married 2 years, I'm married 1. No, like, y'all got 25 to life. Okay, y'all been married for decades at this point. You have children my age, and like, they've been through some different seasons, so they can really offer you some real life advice on how to navigate. Like, to me, that's the kind of people that I would be consulting. People that I can look up to, and they're together for a long time, and they actually still like each other. Like, you can tell they like each other. But no, it's out of order to be having everybody there. Like, this is not a community wedding, okay? This is not like a communal. You're not marrying all the people that you invite to your wedding. You're marrying your husband. So it's okay to have boundaries around that. So I disagree in that point. Here it says, interesting, on my wedding, we had our guests recite vows that they would help push and keep us together as a couple. We use discernment about who we trust with certain information, but those individuals always push for us to fight for our union. That's great. I'm sorry, maybe this, okay. Here it says, interesting, at my wedding, we had our guests recite vows that they would help push and keep us together as a couple. We use discernment about who we trust with certain information, but those individuals always push for us to fight for our union. Good for her for being surrounded with good, loving people, because unfortunately not everybody has the privilege of being around people who want to fight for your marriage and make sure your marriage stays together. Some folks are surrounded with catty people. But you do want to use discernment ultimately. Let's see. It says, anyone who speaks down on your relationship from the start shouldn't even be invited. I do agree with that. Here's another one that says, this is amazing. Thank you for sharing. Black LePage marriage is a unity between two individuals. It's important to know and understand our roles. That part. This one here says, anybody that has a problem with this is messy and doesn't deserve a seat at this wedding. I declare this as loud as possible. We are all supposed to be rooting for you anyways. Absolutely. This one, it says, most pastors say something along these lines. I know my husband does, and his dad did too for our wedding. Okay, I've never heard that. I have not heard pastors be like, all y'all here need to make a vow to stay out of the business. That's my first time hearing it, but I think it needs to be done. This other one says, our pastor did something similar to our wedding. Okay, good. This is good. Some of them didn't even move their lips. Well, then maybe the folks you need to stay away from. Okay. Or just keep a healthy distance. This one loved this. Energy, and man, I'm here for this. I does it every time. This is one says, that's a great intention, message. Some salty faces in the crowd. Woo! They don't need to be there then. This one's confused, huh? This one, now, why did everybody just lie like that? This one said, this is so ghetto. Like, if you want people to stay out of your marriage, keep it all to yourselves. Yeah, honestly, if you want people to stay out of your marriage, like, just don't be posting stuff on social media like that. And just don't be calling up folks as soon as your husband does something that gets on your nerves, or as soon as your wife does something that gets on your nerves. Like, hash that out first. And if you really feel like you need an outside source, go to a source that both of y'all have already agreed upon beforehand, that is hopefully neutral. It is not going to favor the man over the woman, or vice versa, but try to look at things from the accurate, truthful lens. Okay. So that's all that I got. Nothing crazy here. It looks like most people in the comments agree, because it's like, if you're married, yeah, you know that there is definitely power in keeping strong boundaries and keeping folks out of your business. And I hope things go well for them. Anyways, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree with this approach? Do you think that more of this needs to happen in weddings? Folks need to be signing contracts and be like, I concur based upon this contract that I'm not going to get your business. What do y'all think? Let me know down in the comment section. Also, if you like this channel, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and become a channel member. You can do so for as little as $4.99, where you get access to special content and special members only lives. You can also join my Patreon, where I do other content. I do conversations with my husband there, and I just, in general, cover other topics that you just will not find anywhere else. So check me out on membership, YouTube membership, or Patreon. Thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later, okay? Bye.